This is the practice of combination of Kapalabhati and Nauli, which are two key kriyas as aspects, preparations of Hatha Yoga. This is the beginning of the practice where I'm coming into center in a mode of gratitude, clarity of mind, jewel of mind, compassionate heart of connection, and embodiment. One of the key teachings in yoga is you begin these practices from what is called a sattvic state of mind, which is a place of joy, peace. Here you can see the breathing, which is dynamic and active out-breath, a passive in-breath. Although in this case I've been practicing it for a long time, and if somebody's not been practicing it for this long, it might look a little different. In the beginning I get students to work with maybe 30 breaths or so, or even less sometimes, just to really get a sense of how these muscles work in the capacity to both activate and release. And of course the breath working in this way has a profound effect on the fluid of the body, on the cerebrospinal fluid, on venous return. So there are many beneficial aspects to doing a very simple breathing like this, and other qualities that also are to relax fibers of the diaphragm. And of course the diaphragm is the main emotional mediator muscle of the body. Went into Mahabandha there, and now into Nauli. So this practice, you can see the abdominis rectus is being churned around by the movement of the transverse abdominals and the oblique muscles. Pelvic floor is extremely active here, and the head is tipped forward into Jalandhara Bandha. Their breath is being held out of the body the whole time. This is an external retention of air. And it's a conscious inhale. Full deep conscious inhale. Holding the breath in the body, internal retention of the breath. And then working again with pelvic floor muscles. You want deep intrinsic muscles in the pelvic floor and in the belly. Switching on the cervical and the sacral pumps to activate energization of the cerebrospinal fluid up into the brain. These different hand positions, these hasta mudras again, facilitate that movement through the core line of the body. In these practices it's really important that we take a conscious breath. This is a conscious exhale at the end of practice. And it's a conscious inhale at the end of the Mahabandha, because we're training the brain here, because we're working with the breath held out of the body. We're directing the movement of the inhale in a gentle, clear and effortless way from the left prefrontal cortex and not from the brainstem. Of course the brainstem, the respiratory mechanisms of the brain are around about 350 million or more years old. Very powerful, and we're working with those in a good way and training them in conjunction with our more recently evolved bits of the mammalian brain. Here you can see this breath again, this Kapalabhati breath. Kapalabhati means shining skull. And it activates cerebrospinal fluid and really enables us to get the brain working well. It's a morning practice. Doing 100 or so breaths here, fair few breaths here. Again, seated in Padmasana, which is a very earthed, grounded position with the soles of the feet turned up. Creates a pyramid, triangular base, triangular sides. And there's Mahabandha and then into Nauli. And I go both ways with this movement. I know some people teach only one way. I go both ways with this movement. moving counterclockwise first and then clockwise to facilitate good digestion. And of course this affects the visceral fascia, all the visceral endings, so it's completely transforming the experience of the emotional containment that happens around the guts. The bulk of the serotonin is produced in this area. It's where we feel anxiety, and this is like I think of it like an emotional floss. It gets rid of any emotional residues from or unprocessed emotions from the previous day through the night. So it's a way of coming into completion and clarity in a very powerful way in the viscera of the body, in the deep tissues around the guts, and relating that back through the nervous system with working with this breath retention. Again, here we have the mudras, the hasta mudras, the hand mudras, directing this flow through the spine with the inhale breath and the energy harnessing mechanisms in the throat and in the pelvic floor. Giving thanks, giving thanks.